students, welcome to the third phase of the class. Today we'll do the third chapter of English grammar, that is the noun case. We know in a sentence noun or pronoun are related to other words, as well as noun has different positions in a sentence, that is it is placed before or after the verb. So who tells us the relation or the different positions? Yes, you have guessed it right. Case is the relation between noun or pronoun with other words in a sentence. It also shows the different positions before and after the verb and possession of noun. There are many kinds of case, but here we'll talk about mainly three kinds. That is, first the nominative case, second the objective or accusative case, and third the possessive case. First is the nominative case. Look here. When a noun or pronoun is used as the subject of a verb. I repeat, when a noun or pronoun is used as the subject of a verb, it is said to be in the nominative case. Here, noun is usually placed before the verb. In nominative case, noun is usually placed before the verb. Now, you might ask the question, how we will come to know about the subject of the verb? So for that, suppose if an action is taking place. Now we'll have to ask the question like, who is doing the action or the doer of the action? Take an example, Mohini addressed the class. So ask the question, who addressed the class? And the answer will be your subject. Like here answer is Mohini. So Mohini is the subject of the verb addressed as well as it is in the nominative case. So we'll have to keep in mind in case of nominative case, that is when we ask the question who with the verb, the answer is the subject and it is in the nominative case. Next is the objective or accusative case. When a noun or pronoun is used as the object of a verb or preposition, it is said to be in the objective or accusative case. It is usually placed after the verb. And again, how to find out the object of a verb? So what we'll have to do? We'll have to ask the question like on what or whom the action is done. Previously in the nominative case we asked who is the doer of the action, and here what we will do? We'll ask the question on what or whom the action is done. Let's take an example. Ram hit the dog. So ask the question, what did Ram hit? The answer is the dog, and here it becomes the object and it is in the objective case. So, when we ask the question what or whom with the verb, the answer is the object and it is in the objective case. We have one more point of objective case, that is in objective case, objects are divided into direct and indirect objects. So, what are direct and indirect objects and how to differentiate them? Direct objects are names of lifeless objects and indirect objects are names of human beings or animals. Follow the example. Sarla gave Ruchi a chocolate. Here, chocolate is the direct object and Ruchi indirect object. So, the question arises how? See here. Chocolate is the name of a lifeless object and Ruchi is the name of a human being. So, chocolate is the direct object and Ruchi indirect object. It is the easier one. Now, we will follow the other way around. Like, chocolate is the thing on which action is done. We know to find the object, we have to see on what or whom the action is done. Here, chocolate is the thing on which action is done. So, it becomes the direct object and Ruchi is the person receiving the chocolate. So, it becomes the indirect object. Remember, when we were writing kinds of cases, we told that objective or accusative case. So, what is accusative case? When a noun is the direct object, it is said to be in the the accusative case. Also, when a noun or pronoun comes after a preposition, it is said to be in the accusative case. It comes under objective case, but it is slightly different. Follow the example. Sarla gave Ruchi a chocolate. Here, chocolate is the direct object and so it becomes the accusative case. The next example is, he sat on a chair. Follow the preposition on. Chair is placed after a preposition, so it is in the accusative case. Third point or the third kind is the possessive case. When a noun or pronoun used to express ownership or relationship, authorship, which indicates possession, that is belongingness. Follow the example. Ram's book. The book belonging to Ram. It shows ownership or possession. Here apostrophe S is added to the noun Ram, so it is in the possessive case. How to find the possession? Simple here. Here we ask the question, whose with the noun. Previously we asked the question what, who or whom with the word. Here we ask the question whose with the noun. The answer is the possessive case. There are few formations of possessive case. To form the possessive case, we'll have to follow certain rules. First is we add apostrophe S with the noun. So when do we add apostrophe S with the noun? First criteria is to animate objects like Tom's hat. Second, to personified inanimate objects like fortune's favor. Third is nouns denoting time, space and weight. We use apostrophe S with the noun like a day's journey, a yard's length and a turn's weight. Fourth is when we use some idiomatic expressions or phrases, we use apostrophe S like at his wit's end, for God's sake. Fifth one is last word of a compound or closely connected nouns, take apostrophe S with it. Mark the last word, not the first word of a compound or closely connected nouns, take apostrophe S here. It is the last word like his son-in-law's house. The last word of a compound takes the apostrophe S. Sen and Roy's form. Here the last word of the closely connected noun is Roy. So it takes the apostrophe S with it and it means one form. Sen and Roy's form does not mean two different forms. It means a single form or one form, and that is why apostrophe S is added to Roy's. The sixth point is each connected nouns meaning separate possession. Look to the previous point. Here it meant one possession. That is, both have the names are different, but it means the same form. And here it is said separate possession. That is, they are talking about two different forms. For example, Sen's and Roy's form. These forms are separate. They are not one. So each connected nouns meaning separate form, separate possession are taking apostrophe S with it. The next formation is noun plus of plus noun. In the previous formation we saw we are adding apostrophe S with the noun. Here we are adding of, the preposition of. Why so? When nouns denoting inanimate objects, preposition of is used to denote possession. In the previous point, we added apostrophe S to the personified inanimate objects. Here, when we are talking about inanimate objects, not personified inanimate objects, we add the preposition of between the nouns. For the example, the legs of this chair. So, the legs belongs to the chair, and chair we know is an inanimate object. So, preposition of is used between legs and chair. Now look into the third point, that is of plus noun plus apostrophe S. s. Here we added of and now we are adding of plus apostrophe s. Why so? These are added are also used to mean one out of many. When we are taking a whole load, when we are taking a whole load and we are meaning only one, we are taking only single. So we use of plus apostrophe s. Like a book of Rams. Ram might have or has many books, but we are meaning only one book from those many. So we are using the preposition of as well as the apostrophe s with it to denote the possession. Look into the fourth formations. Here we are using only apostrophe and not the s with it. So when do we use only apostrophe? When plural nouns ending in s, like boys. We don't use apostrophe s. We only use apostrophe as it is in plural form and it is ending in s. The second point is names ending in s, like Jesus and kids, to avoid hissing sound. We all know that. The fifth and the last point is absolute possession. After the possessive case, when nouns denoting house, shop, etc. are omitted, it is called to be absolute possession. For the example, he is going to the butcher's. Here, after apostrophe s, nothing is there. No noun is added. Here, the word shop is omitted. So, it is known as absolute possession. With these 5 formations, we have come to the end of our lesson. I know it is a bit tough for you, but do not worry, follow the video and the PDF well, and we shall again discuss it in the classroom. Till then, stay at home, be happy, be